Everyone's trying to sell you a trust, but no one will actually tell you what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a real trust. This is a trust, and I'm going to explain to you one of the most key things inside that trust, and that is actually the certificate of trust right here. Now, the certificate of trust is essentially the overview of the trust. This is going to say what the EIN number is, what's the purpose of the trust. It's going to detail the trustees, the grantor, the settlor, the beneficiaries, trust protectors, things of this. And in this particular type of trust that we work with, there's one key line that I'm going to read you, and it says, the trustee shall have full authority to hold an undivided interest in and to determine at their discretion what is principal and income, what, if any, is distributed to beneficiaries, what is allocated as income, principal, and expense, and what, if any, is established and or maintained as a reserve for depreciation. And what that is really going over is what I've got on the board right there, and that is the principle of fiduciary accounting. So when we have our fiduciary accounting on our gross receipts, it's up to the trustee based on the governing documents, which say it's up to the trustee, as well as UPIA law, which says it's up to the governing documents, and the governing document says it's up to the trustee, that we can divide our income up into a couple of different buckets. We can have distributions for beneficiaries, we can pay trustees, we can pay other expenses, we can retain income in the trust as D&I, or we can even allocate funds to the principal or corpus of the trust. Okay, now the principal or corpus of the trust is not for the trustee's living expenses. That is for investable trust assets, right? It works just like an IRA, where you have money, you have a fiduciary managing that account, and we can buy and sell different things, and we're not going to be taxed as long as we keep the money in there. It's the same exact principle. This is how the trust structure works. Now, for the trustee's income, let's just say they need $100,000 a year to live. Well, if we've got the business trust and we have a couple different things going on, we're going to need to make sure we're paying the trustee, it's not a reasonable wage, but enough money for them to live, to cover their expenses. This corpus bucket, that's your legacy. That's the dynasty you're building. That's for your children. That's not for you to go blow in Vegas or go to the bar and blow away on tequila. That is for your legacy. And so we have to allocate the funds accordingly based on what money we're going to need to spend on which expenses. So that's an overview of the certificate of trust. If you want to learn how a trust structure actually works and see if it's a good fit for you and your family, comment the word trust and I'll show you exactly how it's done.